UK boxing blogger coming right back at ya. Right, I just want to start this video by giving Boxing Beats and Rhymes a big shout out. Right, this video is getting made. It's not in a response, you know. It's just just want to give my opinion in a nice, cool, calculated, methodical, fact-based way. I was on a Hangout with Beats and the guys the other week. Mayweather discussion started. You know, didn't end well for me, but you know, as you know, I'm not really speaking on Mayweather anymore. Do you know what I mean? The whole situation annoys me. But I'm just going to go over the pay-per-view numbers between Floyd and Pacquiao, because some respected guys on YouTube like to believe that Floyd Mayweather, his pay-per-view numbers and pay-per-view star puts in him a clear position to negotiate with Manny Pacquiao as the A side, the A plus A super times 10 fucking 70-30 split, or give him $40 million and that is a great offer, that kind of stuff. And I'm here to put my case up against that, because the fact of the matter, the cold hard evidence of that shit completely negates that and contradicts that belief by many on the YTBC. Right, so we go through the numbers. I'll tell you how long they've been the A-side pay-per-view star and the numbers that we're gonna go over in a sec. So Manny Pacquiao has been a pay-per-view star, the A-side. I'm not including the 1.5 million buys from the Oscar De La Hoya fight, because he was the B-side. They're not his numbers, they're Oscar's numbers in history, in my opinion. So he's been doing it since 2010. So 4 years a pay-per-view star, a bona fide A-side pay-per-view star. Yeah? So Floyd Mayweather, I'm not going to include the 2 million buys he did with Oscar De La Hoya either, because he was the B-side. He was the bona fide B side, and Oscar De La Hoya was the A side, clear as day. They both fought Oscar to become pay-per-view stars thereafter. Right, so we're discounting them. So Floyd Mayweather's then been a pay-per-view star for 7 years. 2007, Ricky Hatton, first pay-per-view A-side numbers that we're going to go over. So, since 2007, the 7 years, Floyd Mayweather has fought 8 pay-per-view fights with a total revenue of 10 million buys. Pretty much flatlining, 10 million, 30,000. So flatline 10 million over 8 fights in 7 years. Manny Pacquiao, 9 fights in 4 years, pretty much 9 million flat. Well, 9,075,000. So we're talking a difference of about 1,100,000 buys, less than that. So if it was time basis, if Manny Pacquiao had 2 more fights in a year, he would take over Floyd. And yes, my argument is going to be in favour of Pacquiao because of the reasons why I've already stated, because of the belief that Floyd is clearly the A-side in their negotiations. They're both 2 A-side fighters. You've got to give, when somebody's record's more intact, you've got to give them the A plus status within the negotiations. But when you're 2 A-siders coming together and one's more popular at the moment or more hot at the moment, you give it 45-55. And an extreme circumstance, which I believed before I went into the numbers, that Floyd's 60-40, which people on the YTB are clearly arguing against, or clearly saying Floyd's numbers are so much bigger. They're clearly not the fact of the matter. And then we go into one of them. Floyd had a super fight with Canelo. If Manny Pacquiao was to fight Canelo next year, and Floyd was to fight another normal guy, then maybe the numbers would be dead equal if they did 2 million buys. Then they'd be dead equal. So therefore, plus Pacquiao did a fight in Macau, China. Still sold 450,000 pay-per-view buys in America with that time difference, with that kind of opponent in Brandon Rios. That is pretty good. Then you've got to then take into fact of the views and the audience and the money and the revenue that's coming in from all around the world. So there's more people in China. They have like birthing bans. You're only allowed one child unless you're rich. They've got way more people than America. You know, so people underestimate that fact that Pacquiao's going to fight over there twice. 2 fights a year. He fights one over in Vegas, one over in Macau, China. So I just want to get a video response with anybody challenging the numbers. Manny Pacquiao's numbers are pretty much dead even to Floyd's. You can give it to Floyd because he's had the Canelo super fight, where he's brought all the Mexicans in. But then you can give it to Pacquiao because he's done it in 4 years instead of 7 years. What Floyd's needed to do in 3 extra years, Pacquiao's already done it in 4 years. So therefore, their pay-per-view numbers are clearly A-side, biggest pay-per-view draws of all time. They're both there. So you can bang on about the numbers and how much Floyd gets paid and all that. The fact is, no one knows how much Pacquiao gets paid. We can all sit there and claim, yeah, we've seen something on the internet and this person said that and all that. Any evidence that we call evidence is subjective in a way. You know, so these are just the facts. These are the release numbers for the pay-per-view buyers from HBO and Showtime. There we go. There's no how much did Pacquiao get paid and how much did Floyd get paid with these numbers. This is just my own evidence. I'd like anybody to respond to this video and maybe understand that they're both clearly A-side fighters. When negotiations come down, no fighter should be expected to take 20% of the revenue of that super fight. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. UK boxing blogger out.